All right, welcome to Secrets of a Mall Santa, Being Santa. Theodore Campbell here. I had to do a real quick update because this year there's a fad going on called the 6-7. And I understand it, but it's almost impossible to understand. 12 years ago, it was the dab. Kids would walk up to you and go, "Can you do the dab? Can you do the dab?" And you would pose like this with the children, and they all giggled. It was just a phenomenon that I don't know. I think a football player did it. And most of the time, these are sports related kind of things. Well, this year it's 6-7. The beauty of it is when you see children walking past, various ages, you just do this. I call that the international sign for juggling because I was a professional juggler for most of my career, my life, 20 years. So this, whenever someone did this, because I was juggling, well, that's what 6-7 is. Because apparently some sports guy goes 6-7, 6-7, and so. But they can be walking by and you do this, and you will light up these 8 to 14-year-old boys. Mostly, they love it, and so I wanted to share that with you. Just do this. Some of you were confused about what to say whenever kids say 6-7. Just do this, and you don't even have to say it. They don't have to say it. They can just be walking by the mall and just do this, and they'll die laughing. Sometimes that spurs me to pick up my juggling beanbags and I juggle them. But I also wanted to share this with you. Last night or yesterday during Thanksgiving, I posted my ASL, American Sign Language video on how to say Santa loves you or cookies and how to say Merry Christmas. That's pretty much all I know. Okay? I can't get into all this. But tonight, I had a mother come up with 2 boys. One of them was deaf, and the mother from the photo camera starts telling me she was concerned how the visit would go. And so she starts saying, "My son is deaf." And I said, "It's okay. Santa's learning." And her jaw dropped, her eyes opened up, and she said, oh my goodness, Santa knows sign language?" I said, "No, no, no, just a little." Her eyes still lit up. The boy walked up. I did Merry Christmas. He did Christmas back. His eyes lit up. He was so excited. His brother, they looked almost like twins. I mean, they looked very close to the same age. And one could hear and one could not. And so then I said, "Santa loves cookies." And he lit up. And then, of course, I said, before he left, I said, "Santa loves you." And he loved it. And the children walked off, and the mother turned around and she said, "Can I come give you a hug?" And I said, "Santa loves hugs. Of course you can, Mommy." And so she came over and she gave me a hug, and I held her and she patted my back, and I said, "You're such a good mommy." And she said, "You're such a good Santa." And I said, "You are so blessed to have such wonderful children, and you're so good to them." And when we stopped hugging, she was crying, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you can do as Santa Claus, and it's so simple sometimes. It's just so easy, and people are touched so much by something so simple as being able to communicate with them. So just keep those simple ones in mind. Santa loves you. That one will get you a long way, you know. And if they try to get into talking to you, just Santa is learning. You don't know much, but just knowing enough to say Merry Christmas, oh, it just made their day. So keep those in the back of your head because today was my first day and I already had a deaf child. So every year I have one or two. Normally not right off the bat on Black Friday, but I hope everyone's having a wonderful opening weekend for them. Some of you guys have been open another week or two before me, so I hope your season's going well and picking up. I had other things I wanted to talk about. I met a celebrity. I don't know. I don't know. I got a picture of him somewhere. He came by. Apparently, he's a rapper, but he sings very dirty songs. But he came by and took pictures with Santa. And yeah, all in all, it was a great day, great first day. And I look forward to making more videos and talking to you more about things that I had forgotten about because my book I wrote my book in the off season. I mean, I've thought about it for 5 years while sitting in the chair, but I didn't start writing this until January. And it took me 6, 7 months of writing it. But now that I'm sitting in the chair again, all these things are coming to me. One of them is the pen quill. If you follow me on Facebook, my Being Santa page, I'm now using a pen quill, a feather. I got like 10 of them for $10 on Amazon. And that's what I'm using as a bookmark. So I've got my nice hardbound book. It's just a blue cover. And I'm sitting there, and as I'm reading, I just hold the pen. And the marketing director loved it. The mall, she came up and said, "Can I get a picture of you just holding your pen? Look like you're writing something. Look like you're checking your list." Because that's what it looks like. It looks like Santa's checking his list. And so I'm no longer getting the question of, "Santa, what are you reading?" like I have in the past when I'm reading, because they know I'm checking my list twice. So sometimes they'll come up now and they'll yell, "Am I on the naughty list?" And I said, "I'll have to check it twice." And that gets a good laugh. So the pen, and then if a child comes up for a visit, you throw the feather in the book, you close the book, you put it behind you, out of your way, and you're ready to the visit. And again, my book, it covers keeping the hands open and say, "Come see Santa." These are signs of peace. You don't want to hide your hands, and you want to keep your hands open. And a lot of the times the children will run up and they'll jump in your arms and hug you, or sometimes they'll just run up and grab your hands because they want to hold your hands and talk to you. So keep your hands open, and have a lot of fun. I'll think of more stuff. Like I said, I'm taking notes. That's the other great thing with the pen quill, is I have a blank piece of paper inside my book. And so as I think of notes, of ideas, of things I want to tell you and share with you, and for the second edition of the book, I can jot them down. And so you too could take notes on things that you found that worked, so you don't forget them later, because it happens so fast sometimes. There's so much. And it will only get faster and faster. The days will get faster and faster. Today was pretty busy because it was Black Friday. And of course, come Monday, it's going to be slow. The kids will be back in school, and the shoppers won't be out in full force. So you'll have lots of time to think about this past weekend, or your past previous weeks during the downtime, and think of how you're going to improve it. What worked and what didn't work. 6, 7, 6, 7. All right. Merry Christmas.